All right, everybody, welcome out to another episode of Windshield Time at Mountainlands Supply. I am Joey. I am also joined by Spencer, the man Shorts.
I'm always the man these days.
You are the man. Yeah. 100% you are. 4 words. Yeah, 4 words.
Thank you for words.
Thank you, 4 words. Yeah, pretty good this.
I mean, thank you could be a conjunction too, so you might get one more.
Conjunction, junction.
Sweet.
Sweet. Today we're also joined by Dallin Ellsworth.
Hey, everybody.
Man Over Waterworks, the company. Thanks for coming on, bud.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
So we've been talking about the end of the year and the goals you guys have for at least your portion of the sales department, which happens to be a large portion. It's just over a third of our overall revenue now.
Yeah.
So congratulations.
Make sure Hogan knows that it's a third. He's not quite there yet.
At least he gives us something to shoot for.
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
He probably tries to lump commercial in there with him, doesn't he?
I'm always that hot chick that you'll never get, Hogan. You'll never quite get there.
I don't know. He's trimming down. He might have a chance.
Oh, he's good. Hell, we golfed with him at the Fugle tournament on Friday.
Oh, Gladstone.
That dude's a stick.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have many good things to say about him, but he can golf.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he's funny, too. So I guess that's 2 things.
He's a good dude.
Yeah, it's great.
We'll keep him around a little longer.
Yeah.
If for nothing else, but a little comic relief.
Yes.
You had brought up a quote that meant something to you, and now it means something to me because if you look around the room, I might be a fan of the guy that you're talking about.
It's a good one. It's a good one. Baseball's a big part of my life. I love baseball. It's one of my favorite sports. And the quote is, yesterday's home runs don't win tomorrow's games or today's games.
Mm-hmm.
So just thinking about that, this year we're killing it. Last month we killed it. It's always a moving target for us. We got to focus on moving forward and focus on hitting more home runs. So always look for that next big customer. Always look to improve on what we've built. Because if we're not, we're losing. You know, if we're not hitting home runs, if we're not getting on base, then you're going to lose the game. So long run is always just try to improve on everything you do every day. So
No, I like that. It is. I think it is daunting a little bit, especially in sales and in a growing company. You don't get to celebrate the wins for very long, you know, and that can at times be frustrating to some people, you know, because it's like, oh man, can't I just rest for a minute and just soak this in?
Mm-hmm.
But you always have to be looking for the next thing.
Yep.
You know.
That quote was by the great Bambi, by the way.
No, yeah, the great Bambino, the great Bambi,
That wussy deer.
yeah,
The Babe Ruth.
Baby Ruth, Babe Ruth,
On that note, that we don't get to celebrate wins for very long. It's
George Herman Babe Ruth,
George Herman Babe Ruth.
GH.
We do need to take time to celebrate wins, though. That's a huge piece of us having success in the future. Is take a second and pat yourself on the back and pat somebody else on the back and tell them, you know, great job. You know, spend some time on that, but also be looking to the future. We've always got to be pushing, but spend some time on those wins. That's something that Jamie has talked to me a little bit about. Was, you know, you killed it last month. Take a second and you know, pat yourself on the back. You know, congratulate yourself. Go do something nice for yourself. So, not saying that we're always so goal driven where we forget about our successes and what's gotten us there, but you do have to look to the future. So,
Well, I think the quote is more geared toward, you know, not necessarily not celebrating the wins, but it's like no matter what you did yesterday, that may not matter in today's competition, right? So just because we got an order correct yesterday and it went out to the job perfectly doesn't mean that buys us any kind of credibility for today.
exactly.
Unfortunately,
Yep.
you know, because for a customer, it's fairly simple. They're either responding to the pleasure of you doing something good for them or the pain of you creating a situation where they have to go through a struggle.
Yeah.
So, you know, pleasure or pain, well, that's what drives everybody.
Yeah.
You know, that's like primal, you know, dogs respond to that sort of stuff. And, if we create a pressure situation for our customers, of course they're going to be frustrated, just like we would be. If we get a shipment wrong from one of our vendors, we're not ever happy about it. So I think we need to extend that same courtesy to our customers and just remember that, we're in this as a partnership with them. And if we're creating roadblocks for them, then we got to fix the roadblocks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I agree.
What else you got to say to the group? Anything profound?
Oh, so Joe's on this customer
at the end of the process.
At the end of every process, and this is something that I have seen throughout my career here at Mountainlands. Starting as a driver, you deliver something as a driver. There's a customer obviously waiting there for the right product, and in a timely fashion. So driving counter, same thing. Got to make sure you get them the correct product. You have the knowledge to get them what they need. I was a branch manager for a while. Obviously, there's customers that come into the branches. And in sales, obviously, there's a customer at the end of the sales process because that's who we're selling to.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot that goes into sales. You look at purchasing. We've got to make sure that we have the material so we can sell it. You look at accounts receivable. You look at accounts payable. We got to pay the bills and collect money so we can keep buying material so the customer has it. And currently, I have a sales team of about 27 guys right now, 26 guys. They have customers at the end of their processes. I also manage the estimating team. I have Dallas heading that up. And they're kind of the unsung heroes that really there's a customer at the end of the process with the estimating team because, yeah, they're not dealing with them day-to-day, face-to-face, but their product is going directly to that customer. Mm. So even though it's not a direct sales role, there's a customer at the end of that process. So it's applicable in all facets of this business. If someone says like, well, I'm on the ops side, well, there's a customer at the end of that process somewhere.
Yeah. So yeah, it's not necessarily it's easy to kind of get into your silos. Yeah. And just, well, I'm in, this department. That doesn't necessarily mean that I affect that department. We're all dependent upon one another. And at the end of the day, we're all depending on that customer being satisfied enough that they return and buy something else.
Yeah.
Nothing happens until we sell a product and nothing gets put in the bank until we collect it, right? Yeah. So it takes all of us, like you were saying. Like it's a driver is in a sales role, whether they know it or not, because they are selling the service of the company.
Yeah.
They're selling themselves as a participant in that partnership with that customer. And whether you know it or not, you are. Yep. AR, same thing. The way that they treat a customer when they're collecting the money, AP, how they treat a vendor, how quickly they are, or how they're balancing the cash flow, all those things, like you said, that goes into us being able to service the customer at the end of the day. So everybody's in a sales role. Yep. When you look at it.
Well, and always strive for perfection. Obviously, there's going to be errors along the way, but strive for perfection. If you stub your toe, learn from that, and also teach other people. That's something that we're working with our team. Is hey, if one of us has an issue, we learn a lesson from it, share it. Like the whole group, let's learn from this, and be accountable for it. And accountability is sometimes to take it on the chin, say that was my bad. It's kind of tough, but at the same time, own it and teach other people, hey, this is something that I learned from this. Share your mistakes and what you learned from it. So we're going to try to start implementing that in some of our level 10s in our meetings is, hey, you had this issue last week. Let's talk about this issue. If it's estimating, if it's in one of our sales meetings, if it's in my management meeting over the waterworks department, hey, this is an issue. This is where I stubbed my toe last week. Yeah, I owned it. This is the lesson I learned, so other people don't have to stub their toe on the same freaking rock. So
well, at the end of the day, we're all just trying to do our very best, And like you said, if we strive for perfection, we're always going to fall short. But if we learn from it, then that's progress.
Yeah, it's a win.
We just want to be a little bit better today than we were yesterday, and tomorrow a little bit better than we are today. The only way we can do that is if we apply those things that we learn, like you were saying. I think failing forward is a very important concept. And I I've talked before about that my bad call. If you pull an order wrong, participate with the branch manager or assistant branch manager, whoever it is, and make a phone call to that customer and say, hey, that was me who pulled that wrong, and I need you to know that I learned from it, and I'm not going to do it again.
Yep. And if you do stub your toe, if there's an issue out there, and you bring it up to a higher level to get it resolved, come up with a solution too. Don't just dump a problem in someone's lap and walk away and say, hey, fix this for me. I screwed up. Fix it for me. No. Hey, this is where I screwed up. This is how I think I can fix it, or we can fix it together. I'm all about that. I love that. A mistake is not a failure unless you don't learn from it. So learn from your mistakes and bring resolutions to the table when there is a mistake. So, hey, I pulled this item wrong. It was on the shelf in the wrong spot. Okay, well, let's go move it. Let's go put it in the right place. Let's go get with the branch manager, the warehouse manager, and say, hey, we need to relocate this to the correct place. This was in the wrong place. Yeah. This is why I made this mistake. So mistakes aren't bad if we learn from them.
Yeah. And the only reason why you and I both know that is because we've made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, I've screwed up a good time or two.
But honestly, that's how you learn.
Yep.
Trial and error. And we're never going to be frustrated with somebody who just, makes a mistake. If it's repetitive mistakes, the same thing over and over, that's when it gets frustrating.
I agree.
So, okay, bud.
Yeah. Only thing I have to say to the listeners out there is live the Mountainland way. Live Mountainland. Get involved. I mean, my wife always, when we go on date night, she says, you can't wear anything Mountainland. So I always sneak like a pair of socks or a pair of Mountainland underwear on or something. But I love the company. I love the people I work with. My wife also asks, why do you put Mountainland stickers on everything you personally bought? Because I freaking love this company. She's like, well, they didn't buy it for you. I'm like, in a roundabout way, yes. But it's just, I'm proud to be a Mountainland employee. I'm proud to be an owner here. And just when someone sees a sticker on my dirt bikes, they're like, oh, you work at Mountainland? Heck yeah, I work at Mountainland. Like, so, I don't know, live Mountainland to the fullest because it's freaking awesome.
Love that, bud. Thanks for sharing that.
Yep.
Okay, everybody, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you down the road.